mission because we are headed to Atlanta. And so we've been meaning to record this video for a while, but we haven't. And what better time to record a video when you have ample amount of time? And our hoodie colors look good together on the camera, don't they?
I like it.
When you are stuck in the car.
It's my traveling hoodie. So you know I'm traveling.
Yes, that is for sure. It's a traveling hoodie. So today we're just going to do a quick little just sit down video about parenting. So we've been parents for a little bit over a year now. Cairo just turned 14 months, and so of course we have been married. We just had our 3-year marriage anniversary, yay! And so then we had our son last January 2020, and so we're just gonna briefly talk about how having a kid has changed us as individuals, as well as changed or impacted our marriage in any way, and so what that looks like today. Okay, so and then of course, if something else pops up into our mind, it's possible that we go on tangents, whatever. So, babe, what have you learned about yourself since being a parent?
I've learned, well, let me say this. I've learned that I can actually take on more than I thought I could. And when I talk about that, I mean like stress, task, and I feel like, you know, I've always been a little irresponsible, but I always was just like, I only got myself to worry about. And like now I have, you know, not only myself, but then I had you. Then now I got this little guy. And so it's kind of like, man, like now I gotta be like super responsible. And, you know, things that I used to just be able to brush over and be like, ah, it's okay. It's like now, like I gotta know how to stick to a schedule. And anybody who knows me, I don't like schedules because I really don't like
being told what to do.
I don't like being told. Yeah, I don't like being told what to do. And I also too don't like. I like spontaneity, so I don't like that whole thing where it's just like, even when we go on vacations, I don't want it to be like everything to be do. That's okay if we got a few things.
We're on our way to Cancun now, and I was just like looking up stuff that I wanted to do for each day, and I already know he just want to go and just whatever happens.
No, that's fine. I just don't want to. My thing is like, let's plan out, right? Like if we're gonna do an excursion for 10 hours, yeah, we probably should go ahead and plan that out. But definitely leave some time open so we can just kind of flow. You never know. Cocaine. I mean, I don't know. You know. But so what about you? Well,
one thing that I have learned, I was watching a 30 Minutes with the Perrys with Jackie Hill Perry and Preston Perry, and one thing that she said was that she's learned not to parent out of dysfunction, and I wrote that line down because I was like, that is so good.
What does that mean?
And so basically she was talking about not to parent out of like your own trauma or how you were raised and how you have grown up as an adult to believe the world should be or how you should parent, but like find your own way to parent. Like you don't have to parent the way that you were parented. You don't have to be a parent the way that other people are telling you to parent, but like find what works for you and your spouse or the other parent of your child, and like parent out of what your own kid needs. And so I'm learning that like I don't have to be the same mom that my mom was. My mom is and was an incredible mom, but I don't have to parent in the same way. I've also learned just like incredible grace. Like I feel like when you have a kid, you for sure learn.
You do got a lot more grace than I do.
What grace looks like, and just grace as far as like him showing us grace. Like we mess up as parents daily, and he has needs, and sometimes we don't quite understand those needs and things like that. But he just still wakes up the next morning and like smiles and loves us and gives us kisses, even when we mess up, even when we interrupted our video, even when we don't know what to do. Like Cairo just naturally shows us grace, and so it just reminds me like, dang, this is the type of grace that God has for all of us. And then also just myself showing grace. I guess I have been doing that as well in parenthood, and just like, man, patience, because a baby can't talk. Like, he can't verbalize himself. And so sometimes when he's crying or something, it's very easy to get frustrated, but then just to remember, like, you just have to be patient. That's his only way of communication. And so you have to be patient enough to figure out what's wrong with him, what does he need in this time. And that takes a lot of patience that you don't really notice that you have inside of yourself until you have a baby.
I would agree. And I feel like you're better at that than I am, because I'm more or less like, either he's going to stop or he's going to go find something else to do. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, did you feed him? And I'm like, he does have to do that, right? And I'm like,
yeah, he be forgetting to feed Cairo when I'm not around.
But I've gotten better at it, right?
Yeah.
And like, but sometimes me and him, we're having so much fun, we're not even thinking about eating. Mm-hmm. We're just like having fun on the floor, and then she'd be like, hey, it's like 3 o'clock. Did you feed him? I'm like, shoot, I ain't ate myself. And we both go in there and go eat. And, you know, or sometimes he may get a little upset. And I just be like, dude, go over there somewhere. Don't come over here with that. And Jasmine's more or less like, well, maybe we shouldn't play with this toy because, see, I'm not talking to him like that. Maybe we shouldn't play with this toy because it's frustrating to you. And he's still like trying to grab for it, because I don't think he completely understands what she's talking about, but she's trying to turn his attention somewhere else. And in my mind, I'm like, he'll learn to just let it, just don't play with that toy if it's gonna frustrate you. He'll learn. And so, yeah, you got a lot more patience, especially with the whole feeding thing. You had a lot more patience with that. Yeah, walking.
And I think maybe it comes from me being a teacher. And so, like, as a teacher, you have to have incredible patience for multiple students at every single moment of the day. And so I have already built up that experience of having patience with other people's children. And that was another point that I thought about. The things that I've learned is like I need to make sure that I have enough patience for my child. And so I really learned, I think, you can tell me if I have or not, but like more of a work-life balance. And so all year I've told myself, like, other people's children cannot be more important than my own kid. And so, like, when I come home from work, I don't work until after he goes to sleep. I only work on the weekends on Sunday, so I won't work Friday or Saturday. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. And so I've just tried a lot more to balance out not making sure, or making sure that other people's kids don't come before my own kid.
Yeah, I think that you do a really good job at that. I do. I agree. I mean, you know, before, I think there was a lot more of you bringing work home, and like I feel like now you've gotten to this place where, like, I feel like you care about your job, mm-hmm. and you care about the quality that you present to your students.
For sure.
But I don't think that, like, I've heard you say things like this, you know, since we've had Cairo. You'll be like, well, this is it. If it ain't got done, it ain't gonna get done. Mm-hmm. It'll be all right. And it'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
and I might have to go to work on Monday, and something that I wanted to do or plan out more doesn't get planned out more, and I don't allow myself to feel like, oh man, I really should have done that, and they need this. Okay, well, they can get it on Tuesday or Wednesday.
I feel like you've become more, goodness gracious, why can't I say this
Okay,
word?
Describe it. Let's guess. Let's play a game.
Intentional. That's what I'm about to say.
Intentional.
I feel like you've become more intentional.
Like with time?
With time, yeah. So I think, like, my love language is physical touch. But I think that that whole spending time, quality time, that's right up there with the same. You know what I mean? And so, like, the fact that you're able to learn how to balance those things out.
That was not something I could do 3-4 years ago.
I mean, I think it was something that you were fully capable of doing. I think that you have to, in order for you to do something, a lot of times you have to see the importance in it, right? And so I think that a lot of times, like, it was just, well, you always got me, just let me do this real quick. Mm-hmm. And then you would try to finish that up, and then it'll be like, I'm like, you say these, like, in my mind, you think like, you're always gonna be here. I'm always gonna be here. We can always spend time together. But it's just that intentionality of it all. And I think that with Cairo coming, I think you had to learn how to be an intentional parent. But I think that the things that you're learning as an intentional parent, you're also bringing into the marriage, which is really good.
So that has just been really exciting. It's just like, it just like gives you a reason to want to just like wake up and have a day, because you're like, oh, what is my kid going to do today? Like, what exciting things are we going to do today as a family? I really enjoy having a family and have it like an added member to our marriage. So it definitely, it also like really gives us a reason to want to, I mean, we already really want our marriage to be successful and we desire to be married to each other for a long time. But I think having a kid, you're like, no, this has to work out. And like, I want our marriage to be a healthy marriage because we want him to see an example of a healthy marriage. Yeah. Because we have lived life for so long not seeing a lot of examples of healthy marriages. And so we don't want Cairo to be 30 and be like, well, I don't know really how to be married to anybody because I never had any examples of a healthy marriage. And so...
Oh, you're going to see this one.
Yeah. Like, through all of it, we want to be like, no, you're going to see this. Like, you're going to see us talk. You're going to see us, like right now, a cute thing that he does is when I give BK like a kiss in the morning, or when I kiss him, Cairo looks at us and he'll just be like standing up next to us and he'll like he wants to get a kiss too. And so even something as simple as that, like, oh, mommy and daddy like give each other kisses, like that's how they show love. I just want him to have those images in his mind and know like what a healthy marriage and relationship looks like. So it really does give us purpose to want to have a successful marriage.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is very it's very funny to me to see him, you know, how he learns from observing, and so like part of me is thinking like, man, I wonder what things we're doing that's really gonna mess him up in life.
I know, that's so scary.
You know, like as a parent, you want to make sure that you're doing all the right things. And so I would say like during this first year, I've been really like being like, man.
You're like cautious.
Yeah. You're just very, very cautious. You're like, man, I just feel like but I think that like, I think Matt told me, he said, shout out to Matt Count. I think he told me like, man, don't worry about that. I think that we're all going to hurt our kids at one point, and it's going to be something that we did wrong that they're going to carry throughout the rest of their lives. And so
why do we have to hurt our kids? Like, so does that mean that everybody grows up with some type of hurt and trauma?
I think so, yeah.
Like, does everybody have trauma from the way that they were raised?
Yeah.
No matter how perfect you think you raised your kid, I wonder?
Even when you spoil your kids, it's not the way that the world is ran. Yeah, so when they go out into life and they see and they're like, man, well, the world has been given to me. Some people don't develop that will to be able to push through. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then they end up with those parents that like, well, my parents just kind of gave me everything, and when I get upset, or maybe I don't want to be in a situation, I call my dad or I call my mom and she bails me out, you know.
And then you have the whole other end of the spectrum that's like, had to work hard for everything.
But then they feel like they don't need nobody. You see what I'm saying? Like,
and how do you find that balance as a parent?
I think you develop that. You know, I think that those are things that we do need to be conscious of as we're raising him. I don't think that's so important right now, but also too, like even when it comes to, like I feel like babies are a lot smarter than what.
Oh my God, yes.
I think. And so that's the reason
things
why
that he picks up already at one, like being able to text, like
that man watches us text and just.
And man, having a kid shows you so much of like the flaws or things about yourself. Like, okay, like when I saw that, I was like, okay, he sees us doing this probably too much. I mean, and it's not a bad thing that he knows how to put his thumbs like that, but it's just like they show you what they see a lot. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, okay, maybe I need to change that around him because he clearly sees that a lot. So yeah, they really give you a mirror.
Yeah, and even down to like when I think one time I said, oh, shoot, and he was like, shoot. Then I was just like, oh, now he's starting to mimic me. You know what I mean?
And he loves trying to say words, so we have to be super careful just about how we even use words, say words around him. Yeah. Already at 1. Like, dang, this is stuff that you don't think you have to think about till like 3, 4. No, at 1, you're already like, watching everything that you do. But I think it's good.
Keep left to stay on I-20 East.
Keep left to stay. But I think it's good because it allows you to see yourself. You know, like, and make changes in yourself that you might not have realized outside of your kid mimicking you and things like that. So I don't know. I think it's good. I think it can be annoying, but at the same time, it's good. Anything else? Anything else you have learned or ways that you think you have changed in this first year as a parent?
My beard has gotten bigger. I think my beard has gotten a little bit longer. My hair below is growing. My hair on top is thinning. So it is what it is. It's a give and take. I'd rather have a big beard than a whole lot of hair on top of my head. So, you know.
Okay, so we just wanted to share that quick little reflection with you. I know people wonder, like, if you are expecting a kid or you don't have kids yet, just wondering how that could change or impact you as an individual or in your marriage. And it might not be the same for you as it is with us, but I just think that that's really important.
Oh, I think this is a funeral line.
Oh,
all right. Yeah. So in order for us to get through this, we're gonna put on our blankets and act like we're part of this funeral.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are. We're about to do this.
Do we have to get over there?
Probably not right now. But when we do, I'm definitely turning my blinkers on.
They not gonna let you get in the middle.
They're gonna let me get up in there, or I'm gonna get right behind this hearse.
You need to try to get in front of this line.
Well, they keep going so dang on slow.
Why are you in this lane? Get in the middle.
Because this lane is supposed to be the fast lane. Why is that lane?
This is not the fast lane.
That's because they're not driving. What's wrong with these people?
So anyway, we would do more reflections about our marriage and about parenting, all things love.
No.
Parenting.
They're gonna have to know.
Community. Guys, we really hope we make it. We are.
This guy's stretching.
We are entering into Atlanta. We are going to bring you all along as we do as we have our Cancun trip. So look forward to videos about that as well. And of course, some more great content coming out. So we thank y'all for watching us, loving us, supporting us,